Hello folks, we are now less than 2 weeks away from Wuchang's launch, and just like my previous videos, we will not be rehashing the same content found pretty much everywhere else. For today, we have this Wuchang Facebook page that I was made aware of through the official Wuchang Discord. Now, despite this stating it's the official Wuchang page, I don't think it actually is, but nonetheless, there's tons of details within here that we can't really find anywhere else. The main admin claims to have been hands-on with Wuchang already, and has spent the past few weeks dropping nuggets of information into this page. To start us off, we have these 4 individual posts that have some certain choice notes for Wuchang, such as Soul plus ACT continuous strike, not only attack and defense, but also includes light, heavy, charged, weapon special, and weapon switching attacks, and force spells, whilst also having dodge, parry, see-through, and rebound. Rich level content, for example, within Chapter 1, the main storyline takes about 3+ hours, but the full collection takes about 10. Map structure design is very excellent, better than Kazan, P, and AI Limit, close to Miyazaki's games. Humane strength system, unlike other Souls-likes, Wuchang does not require choosing to strengthen a specific weapon, but rather to strengthen a specific type of weapon instead. Every weapon does have a practical value, and Wuchang allows skill points to be reset for 0 cost. The disadvantages, we have reset is relatively cumbersome. Players can switch to more suitable weapons for different bosses, but the problem is that you need to frequently switch to skill points of said weapons. And for the Souls game problem, the chapter content is huge, so there are many different forks within the road, and each road will face different encounters, but there are few resurrection points. For consideration, we first have suits. There are many good-looking suits, and about 10 sets can be obtained within the first chapter, but each suit has different effects, and sometimes it has negative effects because of its strengths. For any demon, when you die a certain number of times, a demon will appear. Her attitude is chaotic evil, and she will attack you as well as others. She can also attack from a distance and replenish her own health. And then finally, when compared to Wuchang, Wuchang is a liberal arts student and Wuchang is like a science student. Wuchang's art design is top 1 over the world, even makes the game the 9th art, but the design is less mature in some aspects of the game. The strengths are brought to the extreme, but there are also certain shortcomings. Wuchang's team is a benchmark within the industry in terms of game industrialization and project management. The game design is more industrialized, mature, and stable. So there was quite a bit there. Some of it we already know, but other information was definitely new for myself and likely many others watching this video. These are pretty big and bold claims, to be honest. It's a rational enough looking assessment. It doesn't necessarily glaze Wuchang, but it does definitely cast it in a very positive light. So take the feedback here with a small pinch of salt. But even with that said, pretty much all the feedback for Wuchang has been overwhelmingly positive, so there's no reason to not believe these claims. Anyway, moving on ever so slightly, we also have this rank list of Wuchang compared to many great RPG and Souls-like titles over the past few years. The first factor we have is story design, and leading in this would be The Witcher 3. Now, I personally don't find this a fair comparison, so if we take something a lot more similar to the action RPG and Souls-like genre, such as Lies of P, we can see that in this opinion it sits at 93, whilst Wuchang sits at an 88. Now, I personally consider Lies of P's story to be one of the best within the genre. It's relatively straightforward to follow compared to many others, whilst being rich with characters and locations, and staying faithful to the overall Pinocchio lore. So, to be scored less than this isn't any surprise to myself. However, the developers Lindsay do boast they've put tons of effort into Wuchang's story, and this Facebook admin admits they have not completed the entire game yet, and these scores will likely be adjusted. Up next, we have map design, and the only game to beat Wuchang's 98 would be AI Limit with a perfect score of 100. Now, I've personally not played AI Limit, but a quick Google search or two quickly results in lots of praise for its map design, which coincides with this list right here, and thus we can safely assume the map design within Wuchang is going to be top-notch and very well thought out. Next, we have characterization, which I would assume is based on how well fleshed out Wuchang is as an actual character within the game, an element that most Souls-like struggle with due to unorthodox storytelling methods. Wuchang sits at an 86, whilst Lies of P sits at 88, and Black Myth Wukong sits at a respectable 95. There's not much to make of this for now. Some players may really connect with Wuchang, others not so much. Again, the admin here has not completed the game, so there's still plenty of potential there. For the combat system, Wuchang comes in at a 92, which swamps everything else other than Black Myth Wukong. If I were to hazard a guess on these scores, I'd say they were based on overall variety, flair, and effectiveness, and I personally place Wukong at the top of this list too, if this is the case. Based on this then, we can see that Wuchang appears to bring a lot more to the table than most other games do, and it really does make sense, given we've already gone over all of the different possible options available during combat, and there are indeed quite a few. We are skipping over a few of the other factors here, but the final one we will take a look at is scale. Now, the biggest here is again Witcher 3, but as I said before, I don't think this is a fair comparison, nor do I think Witcher 3 belongs in this list. So instead, we'll take a look at Lies of P and Black Myth Wukong instead. P scores 86, whilst Wuchang scores a 90, and Wuchang comes in at 90 also. Now, whether the scale is based on hours for completion, the size of the areas/regions, or a mixture of both, it is the least accurate rating here, due to the admin once again not having completed the game. Now, we can take everything we know about the game's length, being 60 hours plus for a complete 100% playthrough, and we can confidently say this game is by no means going to be small. Maybe so if you were to ignore all side content and push the main story as much as possible, but if you are going to explore, then you are in for a lengthy ride. Now, of course, I need to reiterate this is just one person's opinion, and whilst I agree with a lot of the ratings and I feel they come from an unbiased and fair position, this is still just one person. The good news is, however, whenever we hear anything about Wuchang, it does seem to be overwhelmingly positive, and not much negative feedback or discussion has taken place for the game, at least as far as I'm aware. Meaning we can hedge our bets that as far as gameplay, combat, exploration, etc. is concerned, we are all going to have a really good time getting stuck into Wuchang. Anyway, that is just about it for today's video, folks. I do have a range of guides and news videos on the channel, so do feel free to stop on by and check things out. Otherwise, I'll be back in a day or so with more Wuchang. Thanks for watching, folks, and until next time, peace.